A tiny, precious cry echoed through the delivery room. "You did so well. It's a healthy baby girl," the nurse said as I felt tears rolling down my cheeks. It had been a difficult delivery. From the first contraction to birth, it took nearly 3 days. The midwife encouraged me whenever I cried out, "I can't take this anymore," saying, "You're becoming a mother. This won't end until you push that baby out." Finally, I made it through the delivery. My body was completely exhausted. I couldn't move anymore, and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, it was evening the next day. I must have used up all my energy. It seems I had been sleeping the whole time. Looking beside me, there was a tiny baby in the bassinet. At last, I could meet her. I tried to get up, but my body wouldn't cooperate. "Oh, you're awake. Thank you." I finally woke up. "That's our baby. Let me hold her." My husband gently cradled the tiny baby, covering her protectively with his hands, and placed her next to me. The baby was smaller than I had imagined, wrinkly and red. "You'll need to stay in the hospital a bit longer. But the baby is being discharged tomorrow," he said. "Really? So I'll be left alone in the hospital?" "Don't worry. Given your condition, we're planning to stay at my parents' house for a while. My mother's there. She's excited about taking care of the baby." "I see. I'll try to get discharged as soon as possible." "It's fine. You can trust Mom. Just focus on taking care of yourself and getting better." I said, "Thank you." I completely trusted his mother, especially since she was a nurse. However, this would later lead to dramatic changes in our situation. My name is Penelope. After a difficult and long journey with fertility treatments, I finally became pregnant at 38. When we found out about the pregnancy, my husband and I jumped for joy. At the 6-month checkup, we learned it was a girl, and after considering many names, we named her Stella. We chose this name hoping she would become a beautiful presence who would light everyone's path. Due to the difficult delivery and my heart condition, I was discharged 4 days after Stella. I can't wait to see Stella. I rushed back to my in-laws' house. When I rang the doorbell, my mother-in-law immediately greeted me, holding Stella. "Oh, welcome back. You must be tired." "Mother, thank you so much. May I hold Stella?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I took my daughter from my mother-in-law. Something felt off." "Ha." She feels lighter. And somehow her face looks different. Maybe she's changed so much because babies grow so quickly. "Well, come inside. It's almost time for her feeding." I brought Stella into the living room. As I tried to give her the bottle my mother-in-law had prepared, I sensed something was wrong. Stella wasn't drinking much milk. In the hospital, she had been gulping it down eagerly. "Why?" "Mother, Stella seems to be drinking differently than before." "Oh, you're just imagining things. She's still not very good at drinking milk. You have to feed her slowly, taking your time." That's how babies are. They drink eagerly right after birth, but some even stop drinking altogether after about a month. Since my mother-in-law had experience with childbirth and was a nurse, I tried to dismiss my vague anxieties and decided to trust her. That night, the baby's cries were weak, and she barely drank any milk. Something definitely seemed wrong. I consulted my husband. About Stella, I really think something's wrong. I think she might be sick. I want to take her to see a doctor. My husband seemed flustered at those words. That's not necessary, is it? You're overthinking things. Besides, you're still tired. You're just being overly worried. Mom says she's fine, so she's fine. Mom has experience with childbirth and childcare. You can trust her. There's no need to go to the hospital. My husband raised his voice. I was shocked. I'd never seen him like this before. Why was he so opposed? Even if nothing was wrong, going to the hospital would help me feel reassured. My mother-in-law came in, startled by my husband's voice. What's going on? Why are you shouting? You'll frighten Stella. Well, Penelope says something's wrong with Stella and wants to take her to the hospital. I was telling her she's worrying too much. Oh my, Penelope. You're still tired. This is Stella. She's very healthy. Besides, some babies just don't drink much milk. Being told I was tired by both my husband and mother-in-law made me wonder if they were right. I looked at Stella's face. No, something's definitely different. I declared I'm taking her to the hospital, and efficiently gathered the baby supplies for going out. Despite my husband calling, "Hey, wait," I decided to trust my maternal instincts. I told the doctor how different she seemed from when she was born, and he performed a thorough examination including palpation and visual inspection. There are some concerning points. Let's do some detailed tests, he said, and took little Stella away. I knew it. I was terribly worried. There had been no problems at the 1-month checkup, so why suddenly now? Later, I went to the hospital to hear the test results. Stella has a congenital heart condition. She won't live long without surgery. I recommend immediate surgery. Everything went dark before my eyes. My daughter is sick. Doctor, I don't think that's possible. There were no problems during my hospital stay or at the 1-month checkup. Could this be a mistake? I understand you want this to be a mistake, but this is the reality. I think you should prepare yourself for the surgery. The doctor handed me the paper with the test results as I sat there stunned. Looking at the paper, I noticed something strange. Doctor, I don't think these are Stella's test results. Stella should be type O, but this says type AB. The doctor said, "Huh," and reviewed the paper. Indeed, it showed type AB. My blood type is O and my husband's is O. So Stella can only be type O. The doctor said, "That's strange," and continued, "But these are definitely Stella's test results. Either your parents' blood types are incorrect, or Stella might have a rare blood type. In that case, we can confirm with genetic testing. It would be entirely at your expense. Would you like to proceed? Since we'll need blood transfusions during surgery, it would be better to be clear about this. Yes, I'll discuss it with my husband. All right then, shall we have Stella admitted today? Yes, please. With an unsettling feeling I couldn't shake, I went home to get Stella's change of clothes. Something's wrong. Why is the blood type different? They definitely tested it at birth. Then it was definitely type O. Could she not be my child? Is that even possible? When I returned home, my husband was waiting anxiously. How did it go? Well, they say Stella has a congenital heart condition. So she's being admitted today. I see. I had expected him to be more shocked. His casual response confused me. Then I gathered my courage and asked, "Hey, are you hiding something from me?" Something about Stella. My husband laughed, saying, "What are you talking about? Are you really hiding nothing? What could I possibly be hiding from you?" I bravely continued, "Is she really our child?" My husband's movements froze for a moment. I didn't miss that brief moment of seriousness. Then he started laughing again. "What are you saying? Have you been watching too many dramas? If she's not our child, whose child would she be?" Well, that's true, but don't say such ridiculous things. I continued, but Stella's blood test came back as type AB. We're both type O. And when she was born, we were told Stella was type O. My husband's mood gradually worsened. Then he burst out, "That's enough," and angrily accused me, "Maybe Stella has a rare blood type. Do you hate Stella that much?" Seeing my husband like this, I decided to do the genetic test. I returned to the hospital with Stella's things. Stella was sleeping peacefully. I gazed at her face. Who is this child? If she's not my child, whose child is she? While thinking this, I realized I had grown attached to the Stella before me after spending several months together, and found myself hoping, "Please be my child." I had already become this child's mother. The genetic test was quick, and the results came surprisingly fast. I had asked the doctor to let me hear the results alone. Somehow I felt that if my husband or mother-in-law were present, they might interfere or try to cover something up. It was just a feeling. The genetic test results show that this child is not your biological daughter. Everything went dark before my eyes at those words. I couldn't speak. Then the doctor continued to me, who was sitting there stunned, "However, you're not completely unrelated. It seems you're about as close as relatives." Relatives, faces of my relatives flashed through my mind one by one. Then my thoughts suddenly stopped on one person. My sister-in-law. My sister-in-law had given birth around the same time as me. Could it be? But why would they need to do such a thing? But there's no other explanation. My mind was in chaos. The doctor peered at my face and asked worriedly, "Are you all right?" Yes, I'm fine. Sorry. There's something I need to check, so I'll go home for a bit. Saying this, I asked the nurse, please take care of Stella for a while, and headed to my sister-in-law's house. In response to the doorbell's ding-dong, I heard a high-pitched coming and a baby's loud cry. Oh, Penelope, it's been a while. Are you feeling better? Please, come in. Sorry for coming suddenly. There's something I need to confirm. Inside the house, a baby was crying loudly. I'm sorry. It's feeding time now, she said and gave the baby milk. Unlike Stella, the baby latched on strongly. The baby gulped down the milk and looked satisfied. Have you gotten used to childcare? It's hard, isn't it? But when your daughter is healthy, it gives you energy too. Is Stella doing well? I answered, Stella is hospitalized with a heart condition, and began, there's one thing I want to confirm. My sister-in-law, still holding the baby, turned her back to me as if avoiding eye contact. What's your daughter's blood type? My sister-in-law said, I think it was AB. I see. Could you show me the mother and child handbook? Why? What's this about? Penelope, what's wrong? What do you want to know? I want to confirm if that child is really yours. My sister-in-law laughed, saying, what's this about? Are you trying to say this child isn't mine? Don't be ridiculous. Then you can show me the mother and child handbook, right? Reluctantly, my sister-in-law showed me the handbook. There, along with the blood type AB, was a note about congenital heart disease. So that's how it is. I felt anger welling up inside me. That child is my daughter Stella, isn't she? Why did you switch them? My sister-in-law apparently felt she couldn't escape anymore. My mother told me to do it. What? Mother did. When we found out my baby had a congenital heart condition and I was feeling down, she brought this baby. She said to become this child's parent now, so you wouldn't have to struggle with care in the future. I couldn't make sense of any of it. This was like something from a TV drama. Switching babies. Unbelievable. And because their own child was sick. My husband knows about this too, doesn't he? Yes. Mother and brother suggested it together. I thought this child was cuter than a baby who barely drinks milk and has no energy. So while you were in the hospital, I decided to take this child. Do you understand what you're saying? Are you really a mother? Because I'm a mother, I thought this was better. A healthy child is easier to raise. It's fine, isn't it? We're all related by blood, and the babies were born around the same time. What? How is this fine? I was furious. Children aren't objects. Switching them, preferring an easier-to-raise child, these are just adults' selfish decisions. Abandoning your own child or taking someone else's child, these are unforgivable acts. Your real daughter is fighting heart disease right now. Doesn't that pain your heart? That's none of my business anymore. I'm this child's parent now. No, that child is mine. She's Stella. I'm taking her back. I tried to forcibly take my daughter back. My sister-in-law resisted and bit my arm. Ouch! What are you doing? Stop it. This child is mine now. I won't give her to anyone. I won't acknowledge a child born with illness as my own. I was stunned by my sister-in-law's twisted thinking. I decided to retreat for now. Fighting over her would only hurt Stella. Whether aware of this abnormal situation or not, Stella was crying loudly. I returned to the hospital. There was a baby there, fighting for life with many tubes attached to her body. Seeing this sight brought me to tears. A baby unloved by her real mother. Fighting so hard to live. What a terrible mother. Children can't choose where they're born. Why did she have to choose this place? You can do it. I took her hand and encouraged her. I stroked her tiny head. I had become her mother. I couldn't give this child to my sister-in-law who lacked a human heart. Back home, I told my husband and mother-in-law everything that had happened today. That the baby at my sister-in-law's house was my daughter Stella. That my sister-in-law had switched the babies while I was in the hospital because her child was sick. My husband clicked his tongue. That girl, she talks too much. She should have kept quiet. What a stupid sister. Really? Why did she have to talk? Penelope, you shouldn't make such a big deal out of this. Such a big deal. Is having your child switched such a big deal? This parent and child are crazy. Beyond anger, I even felt fear. Penelope, isn't it fine? My sister's husband left her after having an affair, and she's raising the child alone. She thought it would be better to have a child that needs less care. That's right, you have me and my son, don't you? We can somehow manage to care for a sick child. It can't be helped. Once they're born. The inhuman words scattered throughout my husband and mother-in-law's speech left me unable to hide my shock at their callousness. Children aren't objects. Why should they be subjected to adults' selfish decisions? This is for everyone's happiness. If we don't tell the children anything, they'll never know. You know what they say, the parent who raises a child is more important than the one who gives birth. I never thought my husband was this kind of person. I wanted his child. I wanted to be blessed with a child from this man I loved. That's why I worked so hard with fertility treatments, but to think he was this kind of person. These people don't deserve to raise children. Thinking this, I went to consult with a lawyer. Together with the lawyer, I discussed what would be best. And we reached one conclusion. I would divorce my husband. I couldn't live with someone who lacked common sense and treated children like objects anymore, nor did I have confidence in raising children together. And I would get my daughter back from my sister-in-law. She is undoubtedly my daughter Stella. I will never give her up. And one more thing. The baby fighting in the hospital. Her surgery date was approaching. I went to the hospital every day and spent time with her. I was so worried about her that I prayed to God every day for the surgery success. Perhaps my prayers were answered. The surgery was a great success. Tears streamed down my face. That's when I made a decision. I will raise this child. With the lawyer's advice, I decided to adopt this child legally. For this, I would need my spouse's consent if I had one. That's why I proceeded with the divorce first. When presented with the divorce, my husband was surprised, saying, "Huh? Why?" But perhaps thinking he would lose in court considering what he had done, he signed the divorce papers more easily than I expected. My sister-in-law had grown attached to Stella and screamed, "She's my child," but the lawyer effectively countered with legal arguments, and my real daughter returned to me. I named the daughter Fighting Illness Lana. Together with Stella, I waited and prayed for Lana's recovery. Stella, Lana, did you both remember your lunchboxes? Yes. Lana, you forgot your water bottle. Oh, you're right. Mom, we're going. Have a good day. Be careful. 6 years have passed since then. Lana's post-surgery progress has been excellent, and though she's a bit small for her age, she's grown into a very strong girl. Stella worries about Lana's health, carrying heavy bags for her and matching her walking pace. They've become very close sisters. To everyone around us, they look like twins. They even somewhat resembled each other in appearance. Well, I suppose that makes sense since they're blood relatives. As for my ex-husband, I hear he's living with his sister and mother at their family home. Through the grapevine, I heard he remarried, but apparently he insisted he didn't want any more children, so his new wife, who wanted children, ended up divorcing him. I'm sure Stella was truly precious to him too. However, he made terrible choices as a human being. Because of that, he lost the right to see his own child. He brought this on himself. I absolutely will not allow my ex-husband, his mother, or his sister to interact with my children. I made this clear to my lawyer, and we exchanged written pledges about this during the divorce. Though I'm busy with work and housework for my 2 daughters, their smiles give me all the strength they need. Now I truly feel, I'm so thankful they accepted me. They are both my precious daughters. They mean more to me than my own life. I plan to continue living happily, just us 3 women together.